I won't be doing a fancy intro like the previous video, so let's get straight to the point. Welcome to the final video of a collection of videos I've made where I freed all 165 slaves in the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. After 21 hours of gameplay, we have freed 99% of all the slaves in Vardenfell. 164 out of the 165 located on the island have been released from their shackles. Our last slave in need of being freed is Falura Llervu, who doesn't appear in the game until we start the Zainab-Nerevri quest. Since she's the only slave left that needs to be freed, we will mostly be focusing on the main quest. We'll get most of the reputation points we need left throughout the main quest. Now on to the video. Let's recall back to the Urshulaku camp and head south to the Burial Caverns to retrieve the Bonebinder bow of Sul Sinopol. Fast forward footage.
Bow.
I returned to the camp to inform Sulmatul that I successfully retrieved the bow. He lets me keep the bow and gives me permission to speak to the wise woman of the camp, Nabani Mesa. After getting the information from Nabani about the Nerevri prophecy, I returned to Caius to get my next assignment. Our next assignment requires us to clear a 6th house base north of Narmak called Ilanubi. Really, we just need to kill Dagoth Gers. After arriving at Narmak, I decided to make a pit stop to the smuggler cave, Chernobal. This was mainly because I was low on soul gems, and smuggler caves tend to be loaded with them. In addition, one of the bandits in the cave wears an amulet of Mark, which came in handy during the last 2 hours of the run.
I remember on one playthrough I used these people as practice dummies, and then I drowned them the moment they stopped being useful. Let's see. Amulet of Mark. Here we go.
After plundering the smuggler cave, I headed north towards Ilanubi.
There's something in here. Oh, there is. Let's see what's in here. 100 gold.
Let's get to the part where we encounter Dagoth Gers. After slaying the Ash Ghoul and trapping his soul, I contracted Corpse's disease. Before I returned to Caius, I made sure to grab the Fist of Ranagal, which fortified both strength and agility by 20 points. After returning to Caius, he directed me to see Dia's Fear to get my corpses cured. I'll take a guild guide trip to Satras Mora and use my jump ring to speed up the journey. Damn it! Let me just recharge this. There we go. When I arrive at Tel Fear, I do his little task where I deliver a pair of boots to Yagram Bagar, the last living Dwemer left on Nirn.
Wait, what? What?
The sun has scarred her back. We greet you warmly.
You gotta be kidding me. Hey, you didn't give me the boots. No, you didn't. Oh wait, there's the boots. Yeah, I got the boots right here.
After realizing I got the boots the first time, I give Diasphere the boots and get my corpse secured. Kind of. I technically still have it, it's just that the negative effects are gone. The positives of it, which I got to keep, granted me immunity to all diseases, allowing me to fulfill the second trial of the prophecy. When I returned to Caius to tell him the good news, he informed me that he would be returning to Cyrodiil to get his moon sugar addiction handled. He makes me the acting leader of the Blades here in Vardafel until he returns from rehab. Before leaving Morrowind, however, he gives me one final mission. His last orders are to save Mara Milov from the giant asteroid that floats above Vivek City. First, we'll return to the Urshulaku camp to pick up the slave bracers I had Nabani watch over. I also got another level up. Level 21. 2 to strength, 2 to speed, and 1 to luck. I also tell Nabani that I fulfilled the second trial of the prophecy, though nothing of interest came from it. Before I rescue Mara, I'll revisit Raylan and have him store more slave bracers. We have a total of 81 left bracers and 75 right bracers. Now to resume with the main quest. I'll just give you the cliff notes. I went to Mara's room and found a note where she states that she's locked up in the asteroid. I levitated to said asteroid, killed off any hostile guards.
Guy's not even phased. Oh, wrong door. Dude does not give a shit. He's like, I don't get paid for this.
Killed off more guards, unlocked this door, gave Mara a divine intervention scroll, and used my divine intervention amulet to escape to Ebonheart. After escaping, I spoke to Blata Hateria so I could have her bring me to Holamayan. Once I arrived at Holamayan, I waited an hour for the portal to open since it only opened during dawn and dusk. Once the portal opened, I headed in and spoke to Gilvis Barello, who gave me a ton of journal entries. I won't be going into much detail about these journal entries, since the main quest is my secondary focus. You know what? I'm just going to have a Bard's Ballad do this for me again. If you want more details about these entries or the main quest overall, click this card right here. It's a playlist of all the videos he made discussing it. Anyways, I recalled back to the Urshulaku camp to speak to Somatul, who tasked me to retrieve 3 items from the Dunmer stronghold of Kogurun. Some corpus sweepings, a House Dagoth cup, and the Shadow Shield. I'll mainly just show the footage of me retrieving these 3 items, since the rest of my time in Kogurun is irrelevant. If you want to see the full footage of me exploring, or should I say speedrunning the dungeon, I'll put a link to the original VOD in the description. During my time here, I stumbled across Dagoth Uthbal and killed him.
Oh, god fucking damn it.
After obtaining the Shadow Shield, I recalled back to the Urshulaku camp and told Somatul that I got the 3 items he asked for. He then told me where to find the Cavern of the Incarnate, and earned another point of reputation. I almed Civi to Nisus, took a Silk Strider to Cole, took a boat to Dagon Fell, took another boat to Tel Mora, and then started jumping west. Once I reached the door to the cavern, fuck off, Cliffracer. Anyways, when I arrived at the door to the cavern, I waited till dusk to gain entry to the cave. Once I got inside, I looked at the ring and completed the third trial, which granted me 5 points of reputation. I was now at 48 points, with only 2 more needed to reach the 50 points required to skip the 4th and 5th trials. As soon as I left the cavern, I immediately headed straight to the Zainab camp to start the Zainab Nerevering quest. Kalshad, the Ashcan of Zainab, wanted me to first slay a vampire named Calvaro, located in the Nerano ancestral tomb. I placed a mark in his hut and headed off north to the tomb. Just like in the previous video, I stumbled across 2 hostile campers and used my enchanted ring to make them fight each other. This happened twice in fact. Though unlike the previous video, I just ran off and left them to handle the situations themselves. We finally arrived at the Nerano ancestral tomb. Let's slay this vampire.
Oh, it was poison.
After dealing with the beast, I returned to Kalshad to get his next task. Now it is time to do what I came here to do. Kalshad wanted me to fetch him a Telvanni bride. The wise woman at the camp suggested instead to buy a slave from the Telrune slave market and dress her up as one. I headed off to Telrune to speak to Seville Imane about purchasing Falura Llervu. She suggested that we first acquire some exquisite clothes, specifically an exquisite shirt, skirt, and shoes. I visited Millie Hastine back in Balmora to purchase the skirt from her, and then I taunted Cunius Pelelius at the Caldera Government Hall so I could take his clothes from him.
Alright, let's put our clothes back on. The fuck you up to? Trailoris, welcome.
After killing Cunius for his clothes, I returned to Telrune, bought some Telvanni bug musk from Bildreth Aurelith, and returned to Seville to purchase Falura Llervu from her for 1,200 gold. I gave Falura the exquisite clothes for her to wear, and the bug musk for smelling good, I guess. Before we left, though, I made sure to deal with Seville.
Let's play matchmaker. Oh, I got a lot of my gold back.
After killing that slave owner, I used a boat to take the 2 of us to Voss. I'm not sure why I took a boat from Telrune to Telmora and then to Voss instead of just going straight to Voss from Telrune, but whatever. Anyways, fast forward footage. Finally, we successfully managed to escort Falura Llervu to the Zainab camp, making her officially a freed slave. With the Zainab Nerevering quest complete, we have officially freed all 169 slaves in Morrowind. Oh, and we get another point of reputation. However, we are not done yet, for Dagoth Ur is still a threat to Morrowind, and must be dealt with. Technically, defeating Dagoth Ur and completing the main quest wasn't necessary to accomplish the main focus of this series. Though since I've already made it this far into the main quest, I might as well finish it. Luckily, we're still one reputation point short of the 50 we need to skip the 4th and 5th trials. Luckily, I know where we can easily earn the last point we need. I'll place a mark at the camp and then head to Tel Voss to speak to an Imperial named Teritus Helanian. He wants to help House Telvanni establish trading business with the Zainab Ashlanders. He would like us to ask the Zainab if they are in need of any items. I recalled back to the camp and asked one of the Ashlanders what kind of items the tribe would like. She said that the camp could use some cure common and cure blight disease potions. After getting this information, I alms-civied back to Voss, taunted this guard who wouldn't get out of the way.
Now you die! There is no escape!
And returned to Teritus to finish the quest to earn the last point of reputation needed to skip the 4th and 5th trials. Now I just had to find someone who would tell me that Vivek wanted to see me. Eventually, Gilves Borello, back in Holamayan, told me to visit the Lair Siriani in Vivek City. I visited the Lair, and he granted me the key to unlock Vivek's palace. I entered his palace, chatted with him for a bit, and retrieved Wraithguard from him. Now it was off to Red Mountain. My first stop was Viminal to get Sunder. On my way, I reached level 22, 3 to speed, 2 to strength, and 1 to luck.
Alright, give me your thing.
The next stop was on Dusal to get Keening. Since killing Dagoth Ondas was optional, I just picked this locked door, grabbed Keening, and headed out. It was finally time to head to Dagoth Ur to face the man himself, bring an end to his evil plans, and free Morrowind from his curse.
Alright, here we are. Yeah, we're just gonna skip to the...
There we have it. All 165 slaves in Morrowind freed. And all of Morrowind freed from Dagoth's curse. Thanks for watching. I especially thank those who have taken the time to watch all 7 videos on this challenge run. It took me 5 months to produce all 7 of these videos. I hope you all enjoyed the series. I plan to make more content in the future, so stick around. This is Riemann, signing out.